We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.
So before we get into all the stories, just going to pick out just a few of them. Yesterday we spoke about I'm starting off with the Ghana Premier League. We spoke about the story yesterday, and yeah, it's a title sponsor, and I've seen quite a lot of reviews in terms of Nigerians put out, oh, Ghana is doing this, and then a few Nigerian journalists have responded by saying, oh, the NPFL doesn't have a title sponsor. They banned that sort of situation. What they're doing is they're having small sponsors. Like, you don't have to be titled. You can have 4 different sponsors. So last year they had Bitnob, if I'm correct. They had Bet Ninja, and I know that they also had Hero. Well, Hero was for a certain, I think, in the East, right? Bitnob was for general, and then there was also Bet Ninja. But with the monies they are proposing, $6 million in 3 years, that's not a bad sum of money. Now, that doesn't stop the fact that they have got TV rights, which in the NPFL, the promise was, oh, we're supposed to have TV rights, which was what the whole idea of, what was the name of the NPFL TV? But the money's made from the first season. There was no account for it. So you projected that, oh, we're supposed to get XYZ number of people to subscribe. Once you did that projection and the end of the season, did we even get that number? Because now what Ghana is saying is that StarTimes is paying them money to air these games, and they pay the clubs. Now, Bet Power is also going to pay money. There's even money for winning a match bonus. Like every winning bonus, clubs get some monies. Now, they're also building a pitch. FIFA recognized or FIFA standard kind of pitch, which clubs can rent. I think it's a brilliant plan. I'm hoping that we'll learn a thing or two from this system. Look, money is money, especially money to run the league. You need to start. Yes, I agree that we need to start small. So take as many monies as you can find around. But we're not, the clubs don't get paid their title winnings. Clubs don't get incentive. In previous seasons, for every win at home, when they show your game on TV, clubs get certain amount of money.
I have a question. At the evolutionary stage of our football in this country, do you think we're still at the level of starting small?
Yes.
And our league has been in existence for how many years?
The league has even gone back.
No.
Where we had gone before.
How many years has the Nigerian league been existing for?
Don't do.
Many years. I'm arguably up to 50, right?
No, at least it'll be up to 40.
Yeah, 40 years
yeah, about 40
of its existence.
And
you still want...
It should be up to 50.
Yes, 50.
Up to 50.
Because Nigeria is over...
in the 80s, it was there in the 80s. They were close
absolutely.
In the 80s, so that means it was there in the 70s.
Now, and you still want us to be starting small at 40 plus years old.
No, the reason why I say start small is I think that
we're no longer starting.
No, so when I say start small, we've done Hero in the East. How does this money cut across to the clubs in the East? How do they benefit? At the end of the year, it's because we don't always get audits. We don't get reports.
So the question is not so much about the sponsors. The question is the structure that we've created. Because a sponsor, nobody wants to throw their money down the drain.
No, but Adu, the question you ask yourself...
Do we have the structures that support?
Sponsors, but the sponsors is funny because...
Do we have the structures that accommodate sponsors? If I bring $1 billion now, do I see anything on paper on structure that is already running that will accommodate my $1 billion kule and give me the benefit of my money? This other one that we are watching here, why do you think they get sponsors?
You're talking about one of the reality TV shows.
Yes.
So let's just put it out. So someone
is not wondering. Yeah.
So when we started this, I think the season Rangers won the league. So there was a system. Now I'm using that because that's very recent. There was a system. There was a sponsor. There was the fact that it was on TV. And I think it was one of the cable TVs that was also showing it. So every time they show your game, if you get to show a night game, like a Friday night, because Friday night was an unusual time to show a football game. I know the situation around Nigeria, light and everything. So if you can get the game to show at night, there was this sort of advantage that, fans will turn out, people will turn out, you will get money for those things. A win at home gives you more money as well because there were small bonuses coming. Now, all those sort of monies put together, it tells you that the sponsor knew the value of what we had, right? But I think that we have a very poor system. Maladministration.
Now you just hit the nail on the head.
When I say poor system, administration is the problem because it has worked in time past. That year was colorful. It was very good. A lot of teams were fighting to get games played at home. People were not afraid of playing games at home because if you know you have a good team, your team will get the results. Come on, Rangers played a lot of games at home and some of them were on television. We saw Rangers win the title that season. MFM played a lot of games at home. At least that one I saw. Right, I think in one of the games we had the CAF, the I think it was the CAF and FIFA president at some point. So it just tells you that if we have a proper system, when I mean a proper system where the monies that you have collected from this, NPFL TV, a few people subscribed. How many people subscribed? How much did you make? How did the club share those monies? You have Iteo, because we read the Federation Cup story. Now you keep saying the sponsor is Iteo. In the previous competitions, have you paid the winners? Because Iteo must be paying. Iteo is the sponsor. Except you are telling me Iteo is not paying the money. If Iteo is not paying the money, that's where we're having this problem we're in. If not,
and then also, sponsorship have different categories. There are some that, okay, your sponsorship is just branding of match venues. Your sponsorship is just paying.
Well, you can't brand match venues because a lot of the match venues are owned by the states.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's a state facility.
So I don't know the terms. I haven't seen the contract, but I don't know the terms in which the contracts of this sponsorship was signed.
No, but the end goal is to get money to these clubs. If you enrich these clubs, it means they can sign. They can sign players. They can get the best transportation. You can get deals, right? You can market yourself. You can get a PR team to push yourself out a lot more. Clubs in the NNL, a few of those clubs, we spoke about Sporting Lagos, Vandreza, they have done a lot of PR on social media. Whether it is by themselves or they got a PR team, I don't know. But my point here is that they put out sponsored posts. They've done things because we want you to come and watch our game. You will pay to come and watch. We will give you the hospitality you will get in a standard football game. Right? I go to watch a game in Sporting Lagos and the amount of food there is what you will buy in a normal restaurant. I'm like, you're kidding. And people were buying it. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy it. I'm just surprised that the sort of people that came to watch the game were tech guys. So he told us that if you can brand yourself well, how many of our clubs do enough of that? I think we need to understand that if money enters your hand, even from sale of players, how many many of these clubs are owned by the states. When you sell players, the money comes in. What do you do with that money? Obviously, it's the state that owns it, so I'm not going to even question it.
So the question again is, looking at our league, if states should pull out their teams from the Nigeria Professional Football League, do you think it can survive?
I think that's the problem. States holding on to, as a matter of fact, because it's government. So because government will always give you money, you will not think out of the box. The minute government says you are on your own, go and sort yourself out. That what we've done is we provided you with the facility, which is something Lagos State does. Lagos doesn't own anything. The only thing Lagos will give you is, we'll say stadium, we'll provide stadium for you. We provide the enabling environment. All you need to do is think about where to get sponsors from, think to where to get support from, think where to get business from, and run your club. So by then you think of where to pay your, at least this money used to pay players. This money that at least Ghanaian football, if they say they're owing players, they should go and call the GFA and probably sue all of them. Because if Bet Power is paying you money, it should get down to the clubs. The clubs should be able to pay their players. At least know that, okay, from that front, we can pay players. That's not a problem. But for our own last season...
Okay, do you also think that the qualification of Ghana for the World Cup also has a play in this? Because everything is connected. I'm just reading between the lines here, looking at Ghana's, like you said, the accountability, the structure, everything that the
possible
Bet Power guys saw, and then also possible. This is a World Cup team, a World Cup country would have international, and maybe part of the contract would be as they go there. Kitted by Bet Power. Those brands want visibility. That's the whole goal.
What it means for them will be that if it now comes down to maybe one or two players making it out of the Ghanaian Premier League to the national team, that'll be more money coming from FIFA to the GFA to those local clubs, which helps improve them. So yes, it will give the clubs opportunity to prepare their teams better, get a trainer, get nutritionists, get transportation, get all this. I don't know how the sharing formula will be. I just brought the numbers are just what we're seeing here, $6 million for the teams there. I just feel it's going to be a good thing. I hope we get to that point.
Absolutely.
There are more stories as well. So let's pick out a few more. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about the Commonwealth Games. So I saw a few of the events yesterday. To be honest, Ellen Thompson-Herah was favorite to win that event, the 100 meters women. And I do not think that Nigeria was going to bully them or bully her to win it because she was the star of the event. I'll at least put out good times and I'm very pleased. I'm impressed. But I think that what we've achieved this year, maybe we're not wanting a little too more, but I think what they did was good. Their performance, Onyekwere was also good as well. in terms of the discus throw. There's still more events from Nigeria in athletics later today, so there's a lot for us to look forward to. Table tennis as well. I will only be disappointed if someone like Aaron Okodri doesn't win a gold or a silver. That was where my disappointment would be from, because for an individual level, I think he has gotten to that point where he should win.
But in many of the world championships, he doesn't. When he
contests
with Asian guys,
but Adu, you don't have some of those people there now.
Are they not part of Commonwealth?
A lot of those teams are not part of Commonwealth.
Korea,
USA. So, for example, USA is not part of Commonwealth.
No, USA.
Germany is not part of Commonwealth. He has issues with. When I mean issues, like the competition with some of the German players there.
Okay.
China is not part of the Commonwealth.
But USA is a Commonwealth nation, is it?
But they're not a part of the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
They have pulled out long ago.
But they're Commonwealth nation.
They're not. But they're not playing in these games. We're looking at who is. I don't try to.
Don't
try to.
What?
Who is here? We're looking at. It's not who know they know they.
Okay, who know they know they.
So
I agree.
They are not there. Who we have here is Jamaica, which is why I said that the Jamaicans, yes, in athletics, we agree. Johnson, Ellen Thompson, this in Hera was coming. So we know that she's like the hot thing. 100 meters, 200 meters at the Olympic Games, she was there. Obviously, you put a lot of respect on her as well. So I would not blame those sort of athletes, because Nigeria came 4th and 5th. So that's fine for me. It was good time as well. They had, I thought what they put in, you could see the passion. You see what the Joy Udo Gabriel as well. She also had a good time. Unfortunately, didn't make it to the final. But what I'm saying here is that they are in table tennis. I don't know, is ranked, I think, number 2, number 3 in the seedings. Number 2, number 3, a shade of medal has to come back from him. Not from anybody else, from him. Except he's nursing an injury. If he's not nursing an injury, a shade of medal has to come, because we are one of the most experienced on this front.
Okay.
We've made many that, okay, it's fine. All right, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. This is the opportunity for you.
To shine.
I know. So that would be what I would be expecting. I would also be expecting likes of Brumer, Tobias Musa, because you are not like the leaders. You're the ones people look up to. You are the mascot, the ambassadors of Nigeria, generally. So I'll be expecting medals from those athletes. I won't be surprised as well if.
But our para team always comes through.
Those ones deliver.
No, they always come through, and I just wonder how they are able to keep up with the and they deliver back to back in Paralympics, in para competitions. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in more of the golds for us.
I won't be shocked, really. They've done, I think, there are a few events from para as well. Para weightlifting also, even para lifting too. I think para powerlifting. They're also very good. So para powerlifting is also coming through today as well. I think we have gold medalists all over the place in Paralympics.
Yes, absolutely.
And also those ones, like I said, those athletes, I expect them to come through. But I'm just saying that the ones who a lot is expected from. You should start delivering. This is the Commonwealth Games. You need to do it, but we'll wait to see how it turns out. I'm very optimistic about our chances. People have talked about the Federation Cup. It's getting a lot. I think the big team there, Heartland, Kano Pillars, they're still in the running round of 16. In all, everyone knows there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a place on the continent. So obviously, something people are battling for. They're not just crossing their leg and saying no need to worry. Some of the big teams have been knocked off. We already mentioned Rangers, Enyimba. Surprised with Enyimba, because this season, my opinion, Enyimba has had a terrible season for their own standard. And I know a lot of people say, oh, they've got a new coach, but that's not an excuse. If you bring a new coach, you've got players, your expectation for Enyimba at that level is you need to finish off with something. But hey, better days ahead for Enyimba and other teams.
But looking at the outcome of what happened to Enugu Rangers, Enyimba, Akwa United, Remo Stars, and the performance, can they still? Do you think that they still have the weight to do this continental level?
The teams that have qualified for the continent at the moment, Plateau United, Remo Stars. I don't know much of what Remo would do in terms of the continent, because now it's a private-owned club. The owner may decide that, okay, we're going to push a lot harder, or we're going to challenge. We're going to try to challenge, not challenge. We're going to try to challenge for the Confederation Cup. So it depends on what the plan is. But for the other two, I feel that Rivers United, we already know what the governor is planning to do for them. There's a lot of money being splashed out, $20,000 for a player each. If they make it out of the group, if they make it to the group stage, I know that's 20,000, that's 40,000. That's a lot of money, Adu. It's a lot of money, right? But the governor has promised them that they'll get every sort of treatment. They'll travel as well to Spain, I think, or Portugal, or to Europe anyway, for a training tour, just to get themselves acclimatized before the start of the competition. So Rivers United are in a world of their own, right? the only problem Rivers United will have is their mind, if they can go on to achieve what the governor has set out for them. For Plateau United, a lot is still known. They got dumped from November. You can understand as well, because they're also trying to look forward to CAF Champions. I think it starts later this month, next month.
Right.
So there's a lot as well for Plateau United. Remo is a private club. The last team, now it depends on who the last team would be, because the last team, it would determine if the purse is big or if the purse is small. Kwara United have played well. They got the likes of Juno Lokosa on board, brought Dele Ayuni, but these are players who have experienced it home and abroad. One has even played in the Super Eagles, so they've been there. But some other teams may not have that sort of firepower. So the question you ask is, who gets that spot? Kano Pillars is still in the tournament. Heartland is there, but my doubts with Heartland is all through the season they were owing players, they were dropping points, they got relegated. So all of a sudden now the two relegated teams are now the ones pushing for points. But let's see how it goes.
Absolutely.
It's a lot to look forward to.
But we're just going to ask that question, because you look at the names that that readily come to mind, and you expect that this one should be there, this one should be there.
I'm shocked Eimba didn't get to the. I'm shocked Eimba didn't get to the last four.
But Eimba has been a battle of survival last couple of seasons.
Last season they were mid-table finish. When I mean mid-table, they were in the top half. But I thought Eimba would have challenged a little more. But hey, that's just me anyway. Next season we'll see what happens. Quick story around the transfer, Sadiq Umar to Almeria. Now, from Almeria to Borussia Dortmund, I believe the story, right? I believe it because they are looking for a striker, Dortmund, someone who can replace Sebastian Heller. Now, what's interesting about it is, yes, they could find maybe a replacement, a small replacement until it comes, but then you know the season starts and you need someone who can deliver. He's a national team, international. Right? Unfortunately, he's not going to the World Cup. Fortunately or fortunately. For Dortmund, it means that you get two of your strikers, your main strikers, Sebastian Heller and Sadiq Umar, if he comes through. Both resting during the World Cup means they will be fresh when the World Cup is over, because Nigeria is not going, Cote d'Ivoire is not going. So I think it's a good thing. And then his numbers last season were not bad in the Segunda Division. I think it was the third top scorer or so, the Segunda Division. So yeah, 38 goals in 74 games for the side. That's not bad. If he makes it, I hope he does. Lukman is also good as well. For Lukman's own situation, Atalanta is a team that gives opportunities. We've seen many players go there. They've done a lot of sales. And I think that if Lukman can tie down a starting bet over a period, I think for me, it's a good move. Leipzig obviously didn't want him. Went to Leicester. Leicester have financial issues, so maybe that explains why Leicester didn't push to keep him. Everton thought about it, but then they remember they've got a lot of players in the same position. Demarai Gray, Andres Townsend, Alex Iwobi, and Anthony Gordon, who can play in two other positions. So they just felt, you know what, maybe we'll look elsewhere. Now, Atalanta, on the other hand, they're a decent side. They're a very good team. And I think it'll be good for him as well next season. European football, will not go to the World Cup, but has a lot to fight for next year.
Absolutely.
UEFA's plan of a technology.
I really think that's a very brilliant idea from UEFA.
Brilliant.
You know, I was just thinking whilst you were reading the news, I was thinking, okay, if I were the inventor, what would I do? I thought that perhaps we could also look into it, have microchips embedded in the jersey. I will take it up a notch. So you put the microchips somewhere in the jerseys of the individual that gives an exact GPS positioning of the player on the pitch, and then you have some radar readers at the corner of the pitch that would exactly tell it to the exact millimeter the position of the player to know who's offside or who's not, because it's all precision. And the whole idea of the artificial intelligence is,
I love this idea, but your idea seems too technical.
And now see, when you need technology to advance sports. Before, we thought that you could only grow grass in a certain way, and then advances came, and then people started to change the turf.
You know that now you can close the stadium,
open it, and so there must be technological advancement in sports. Before, when I learnt cricket in secondary school, the wicket was not digital. Now, when you watch cricket, the stuff is the wicket on is digital. So when you hit it and it gets, so you can't lie and say I didn't hit it. You didn't hit me
in tennis.
Yeah,
back in the day, there was your contest and you see arguments. That's how points look at it.
Look at it here.
But now
it's computer checks it out, and there's a computer generated 3D image that shows you exactly where the ball hit the court before it bounced off. So that's what I'm saying. So we need to know that the world is advancing. We have smartphones, we have smart screens, we have smart cars. Why shouldn't we have smart sport?
Well, before we go for a break, Adu, there's this story, this take a knee story. I know you've probably seen the take a knee story.
Yeah, I've seen the take a knee story.
Yeah,
and
I didn't agree with it after a while.
Ab initio or
after a while, I thought
it became too overstretched.
I thought that number one, it was losing its relevance because racism didn't stop; it didn't reduce. People did not all of a sudden become more enlightened.
Absolutely,
it increased. So I'm like, stop taking a knee, fight it in other ways. So now the captains are saying, a lot of the captains are saying, look, we've got teammates who are still saying it doesn't stop. It doesn't change anything. What we had, I think there was a story we brought a while back, was Wilfred Zaha. Zaha said he wasn't going to take a knee. He didn't see any reason why he should take a knee. Because taking a knee is not changing anything. So it
felt more like playing to the gallery.
Yes, he says the Caucasians can take a knee because they are the ones, but he says he's not taking a knee because he feels it's not changing anything. I want to take a knee and see the change. Not the one a small boy, because I think there was a time a small boy was still abusing and the police had to practically get involved. And social media abuse, we brought the story yesterday again about social media abuse.
Absolutely.
But racism, so imagine if you were a colored player and then you're not playing bad, Joy. Because now we're talking about even Westerners, Caucasians, who get abused on Twitter, on social media.
Absolutely.
Now imagine if you're colored, adding to the fact that you're playing bad on the pitch. There's a lot of abuse. There's what happened to them, Saka and then Rashford.
Absolutely.
So for me, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think it's a good move, and it's just been overstretched and overbelabored. There are more effective ways to fight racism. There are more things clubs can do within their own structures to prevent players from being racially abused, rather than just show the camera that you're kneeling down with one knee. Anyway, we'll take a break. When we come back, our listeners will join us.
Yes, and it would also start off our build-up for the start of the 2022-23 season of the Premier League.
Hi, where Liverpool will win.
Well, we'll start with the winners.
I'm a prophet.
We'll start with the winners.
See, I'm a prophet. I am a prophet. I'm a prophet. I prophesy. I prophesy.
That's why you prefer last season. You not win.
I prophesy. I said I prophesy and they won.
Ado, please. They did not win.
They won Champions League. I prophesied it.
Bring us Chapo call.
Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.